这样就说我们的这个，他就说他刚才说了一些完了之后，他就说那你们具体需要什么？我就说一些当地生活啊、交通啊、传统啊什么的。那他说要从哪里开始？我说要不简单说一下历史。他就说
，When I think you're aware that there was First and Second World Wars. First and Second World Wars. The First World War, 1914.
Yes.
To I think 1920 something, and then Second World War.
1937.
Yeah, from that time we were under British, and that's when we became a protectorate.
Oh, okay.
Up to about 1962.
64.
62.
You got independence.
62.
Oh, okay. 62.
And then later on, 64. That's when we got our independence.
Oh, okay.
And Republican state, 1964.
64.
Okay, fine. So from there, we started ruling ourselves. But I'll tell you something. During that time, when we were getting independence, we were better economically than Taiwan.
Than Taiwan?
Yes.
Because the first president, Kamuzu Banda. Yeah, he's good.
He was good.
He was good. Yeah.
Now, at that time, we were seeing some progress. But when people now started realizing the economic potentials individuals will gain through politics, and politics now started coming in and bringing in a lot of confusion.
And before,
because everybody wanted to become a president of the country.
And before, people like their country, they like their president. And
very much.
All people are in a group developing the country.
Of course, there wasn't much development in terms of roads, for example, and all social economic aspect was in shambles. Because, of course, I wouldn't blame anybody, because at that time there was very little economic activity taking place. That's why the first president, when he came into the country, emphasis was on agriculture. Because he knew that agriculture was the easiest to do, because rains were very favorable at that time. They were coming at the right moments and so on, and harvests were good. So they concentrated on agriculture and tobacco in particular.
Tobacco in particular.
Yes.
How about that time, sugar?
Sugar came in, I think it was 1970.
Oh, okay. It's not that
270 something.
Tobacco is
special. That time it was tobacco. Groundnuts, maize, and legumes in general. So Kamuzu ran the country up to 1994.
1994?
Yes. And now people decided to be what you call a democratic country. They wanted Malawi to become a democracy, where we see a lot of problems. Because one, people have got freedoms of anything. They steal at will whenever they want, and there's no proper control over it. So, yes, that's my wife.
Okay, that's Mother.
How are you?
We heard from memory about you.
Okay.
Everything is okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my wife. Memory is mother.
We heard from memory.
Okay.
Because last time when she's in China, she said you are sick.
Yeah.
And that's why she come back.
Okay. 可以跟他问一问，就是说我们5年前在这边，现在5年了，他觉得这个国家有没有发展，发展的快不快？然后问一下他每个城市，这样他到后期的时候，他可能可以用他的话作为开场，在我们的建议的城市。
Yes, Baba. So, 5 years ago we are here. We come here, and then now we are here again. It's 5 years already.
Okay.
So, as you see, in these 5 years, is the country developing? It's changing.
I would ask
for
you
your
this question.
opinion.
When you came here,
As we see, there is something at least change. The house become bricks, and the road become white, and yeah.
They are iron sheets.
Yeah, the roofs, they are iron sheets. This is what we are seeing.
you see
So as
some
you
development.
local people, I don't know what you feeling.
Yeah, that's why I said the development
Yeah.
is done by the people themselves.
Okay.
And it would be wrong for government to say these people are doing it using resources from within the country. Because a lot of our children are outside the country. That's why I said what you see is done by the people themselves. You know, children who work in South Africa,
They
work
working
in
hard,
Zambia,
they bring
yes,
money back.
They bring money back.
So we
Not-
build houses.
They do some businesses. You see a lot of Malawians now going to China.
Yes,
they buy
yes.
things there,
Yes,
come and
yes.
sell here,
They try to make
and they
business.
develop their country.
他说：“你们看到了变化，但是在他们来说，这一切发展都是靠当地国民自己的。
就是靠民众
大家大家自己去南非做生意啊，去中国做生意或者做一些生意，然后慢慢改变自己的家，是有铁皮瓦了，是有砖头了，然后路是变宽了，各方面他们就说当地人自己尽量努力
所以觉得是靠人民的努力。
对，这是他觉得。
对于这边的印度人和中国人，他们是什么样的一个态度？
可以问问，就是因为很多人都会觉得说印度人好像对这个国家影响很大，可以问问他。
So how about the Indian guys?
Come again?
India.
India.
Because many people they thought that the Indian they affect this country.
India, I would say to a certain extent, they are sisters because they take children for training in India. And then, of course, in agriculture before, it was by Indians. A lot of them, they owned the estates, tea estates. They owned, you see, a lot of things, shops, factories. A lot of them are owned by Indians. Yes. So, to an extent, I think they have contributed quite a lot to the development of the country. But with coming in now of you people, China, and so on, I think we are looking forward to more investment in Malawi. Although a lot of it is also, it's like you have also indulged in trading business. But what we expect from China is investment in factories and so on. As I said, we have got a lot of potential for investment. But for reasons better known by the government, there are very few Chinese who have invested in the country. Unlike in Sierra Leone and in Tanzania, maybe I have seen a lot of investments from China or by China. Unlike in Malawi, I don't know for what reasons. But when I went there personally, I tried to bring in a lot of people to come and invest, but in small, aspects of businesses. Like some have opened up garages, some are doing manufacturing, of course, but at small scale. But what we expect is that if you make this, for example, as take it as a branch of China, where China would be manufacturing their products and then sell to countries like Zambia, Zaire, Tanzania, part of Tanzania,
because
Zimbabwe, and
Malawi is the one part of Africa. It's a good transport to
exactly. That's what I wanted.
Better set a branch.
Yes, that's what I wanted to explain.
And it gives position for labor.
But concentration is more in South Africa. South Africa, which is already doing alright. So you find a lot of Chinese are investing in South Africa. Without realizing that those who purchase those goods travel all the way from here to South Africa. That's why I said if the focus of investment had changed, mindset changed, and invest where these people come from to buy in South Africa. So to do that, then you have got to invest close to people who buy products from China. invest here. Because one distribution of goods is quite good because of the transportation network. We have got a sea here, and it's only 800 kilometers from Baba Bay to the port in the Indian Ocean.
Indian Ocean.
It's only 800 kilometers.
800 kilometers.
Only from Baba Bay to there.
Tanzania.
Yes.
That side is Tanzania.
That side of Tanzania to the ocean.
800 meters only.
Only kilometers. And then we have got Liwonde here. There's already infrastructure. There's
Mozambique.
a railway line into Mozambique, again to the Indian Ocean.
We have been to Liwonde.
Yes. Now, if you traveled that railway line to this ocean, you find it's also very near. It's about another 800 to 1,000 kilometers, which is very near.
The nearest.
And then here
one.
we have got a railway connection to Zambia, to Chipata. And Chipata is next to Zimbabwe on this side and next to Zaire on the other.
So as you Malawian, you like which industry should be here the best?
We produce a lot of cotton in Malawi.
Cotton?
Yes.
Cotton, like duvet, blanket.
Now, I know China has invested in cotton processing in Malacca.
Yes.
But what they are doing is only processing and they sell unfinished product. Instead of producing cloth here and then manufacture clothes, real clothing right in Malawi.
But you mean everything be here?
Yes, that's what I mean.
Not just exporting the cotton.
We have got titanium. Possibly we are only second to Russia. We have got a lot of titanium here. And you produce a lot of technologies, things like screens, television screens, cameras and so on. You use titanium. Now, why don't we produce these things in Malawi than taking raw materials?
Because of the material.
You see now. So it would have been cheaper for China to be producing these things here because the material is right here. And then you sell to Africa, even export to European countries.
The transport is being saved.
You see now, you are saving transport and so on. Now, what is happening is that they want to mine this titanium to China, process it, and then manufacture goods and transport them back to here and so on, which is a bit costly. The same applies to cotton.
Yeah, I understand you.
Yes, and then we have got minerals, as you say. We have got things like euthelium.
Euthelium.
You see, it's similar to uranium, but it's a cheaper quality.
Cheap quality.
You could use that for generation of electricity. Now, instead of using coal and power, water power, which is a hydro system and so on, we have got thermal power just here at Kasitu. I think you passed through Kasitu yesterday. You saw a peninsula into the lake after Dwangwa. There was a beautiful site. You were passing very close to the lake. Now there's hot water coming from the ground. Very hot, boiling water.
Hot water?
Yes. And that one has got very high potential for producing electricity. So you could be generating more than 600 megawatts of power there and supply maybe a bigger part of the country instead of using coal.
Instead of using coal.
Now, the government is aware about it, but you may not be aware.
Why the government is aware?
The government is aware because we always tell them, but they don't understand.
They don't understand.
Because you know why the reason is invested here in the north. They don't want.
They don't want.
And yet we are one country. You see, that's the problem we've got. Now, if a country, a foreign country, comes and invests, nobody will say no, because you have wanted to invest in that sector. So we want, when you come, don't just stay in Lilongwe. Try to meet the people the way you are meeting us.
Yes.
And then we'll tell you what is in Malawi. And then later on you start investigating. Because people in Lilongwe, a lot of them are very corrupt. Instead of taking investors into proper areas of investment, first thing they will look for, how much am I going to get from there? And then the investor gets disappointed.
First, they should come to the properly where they should.
But we in the villages will tell you exactly what is there. For example, there's a lot of construction in China, in Arab countries, and even in Africa. They look for graphite. We've got abundant graphite deposit in Malawi. But nobody is mining. You know, instead we are using tiles. And yet graphite is there. So you can bring in machines and invest in graphite production, which is very expensive. And graphite is found almost in 3-4 districts in huge deposits. But nobody is doing it.
他就说他们这边有很多能源地热啊，什么乱七八糟，但是很多中国人一过来就说直接在那个首都那边就待着，也不来实地考察，就是合适的位置投资合适的东西。As we heard, the first capital is in Zomba.
Yeah, the first capital was in Zomba.
And then they transfer to Blantyre.
Lilongwe is
no Blantyre. From Zomba directly to Lilongwe.
Because Lilongwe was central.
中心.
You know, it's right in the centers between northern region and southern region on the other side.
Just because of this reason.
Yes, and also because at least it would bring some facelift for the city. Because without that, Lilongwe would not have grown. Now, with the movement or the moving of the capital from Zomba to Lilongwe, you see, you can see infrastructure and the population growth has been so big and rapid. It's all because of centralization of the governing entity.
就是因为主要还是因为就那个中心地理位置、中心地带，然后中央凝聚力嘛，你偏到一角会影响整体发展啊。没有在布兰特建筑 ，so never be a capital. Blantyre never been a capital.
Blantyre is what you call
economic
business hub.
Business hub.
Yeah. It's a business hub for Malawi.
就是经济中心。Never been
like
a capital.
Shanghai,
like Shanghai to China.
Yes, and some other cities, commercial. It's a commercial city.
Oh, okay. Never been a capital.
No, it has not.
But as we misunderstanding, many people they said first Zomba and then Blantyre and then Lilongwe. This is what we have heard. So we heard the basic salary is 30,000 per month. That's true.
Yeah, it varies. For graduates, it's anything from 80,000. For graduates, mean you have got a university degree.
Yes, I understand. 他说，如
It's
果说
anything from 80 to 150,000.
Okay. 100 to 50,000.
It's 80,000
80.
to 150.
Okay. I graduated.
That is, university degree.
Okay.
But for Form 4 and so on, you can start from anything like 25,000 to
50, 80, 100.
50,000.
Starting from 25.
With experience, yes, you can go as far as much as 100, but it's a very rare occasion.
So, like Form 4 or college students, where can they find job? In factory?
In factories,
there are not many factories.
No, there are not many factories. You're right. By non-government organizations, all you have to be self-employed.
Self-employed.
Like the way I'm doing, I'm self-employed.
So without starting funding, what can you do?
This way it becomes a problem. You have got to borrow from the bank. And to borrow from the bank, you should have a collateral.
Yeah.
Like a house.
Okay.
And something.
Like a deposit.
Yeah.
Deposit.
Yeah. If you don't, then you die poor. You have got to toil to get something, and then you start small business. Slowly you expand and so on, which is very difficult.
So most of the guys find a job in government or in factory or only few.
Yeah, that's why I said a lot of our people go out. Oh, Londaku kwanyoka kupase ku 4,000. Akabi udanmo pase ku 4,000. So that's why you find a lot of our people go out of Malawi. They go to South Africa, they go to Tanzania, and all over the place.
I think those guys going out is, as I know, they are basic labor. Just do some.
No, including educated doctors, and, teachers.
They are going abroad.
Yeah, they're going abroad.
People fighting themselves.
No job
they fight themselves.
Technicians, scientists. There's no job for them.
需要解释吗？
可以解释。
他就说毕业生8万块。
It's very difficult, and a lot of people end up fishing. Now fishing, fish is depleted. We don't even know what to do. I had a fishing company before, but I gave it out because there's no longer fish in the lake.
No longer fishing.
No, very little.
There are many fish in the lake.
Yeah, but means of catching it is difficult because it's deep water. It's in deep waters. So we need the trolling equipment.
Boat. If you have a big boat, you can do it.
Yeah, if you have got a big boat and trawlers, you can do it. But to get a trawler, it's over 60 million.
Okay.
I cannot afford.
So you just got some small timber boat, and then only
just enough
take
for
few fish. Okay, if you need more, you want to harvest,
you have got
should
to
go
get
far,
loans,
go
but
deep.
you cannot get those loans.
Okay,
It's
because
very
of the device.
Yes.
他说，甚至这个捕鱼，你看着大家就是在海边捕一捕，本来是一个产业，但是只有往深处里面有，像这普通人在外面捕不了太多。
There's nobody here who does deep water fishing. Nobody. From Karonga, maybe up to Salima. Nobody. It's only that side. Those who are rich. It's the government itself.
The water is not so deep.
A bit shallow.
A bit shallow.
Here is very deep.
Very deep.
In some areas it even goes down to 1,000 meters.
1,000 meters.
Kilometer. Deep.
Only Salima there is.
Yeah, there is shallow.
So they are a little rich.
Yeah.
And the Mangochi,
That side, yes. Mangochi people are rich. But here, you see all these houses you see, these people working out of the country.
Okay.
A lot of them.
That's why we see the road here.
Yeah.
Because from Salima go to Mangochi, Monkey Bay to Zomba, the road is become white. They are maintaining it.
Yes,
and
everywhere.
from Salima to this side, this direction, the road is broken,
It's
damaged,
narrow.
short.
It's narrow.
Narrow, yes. 他说南部水比较浅，所以相对发达一些。这边我们从路就可以看出来，路比较狭窄。
The development, the wide roads you see here, they are donations.
Now donation.
Like this one was done by Germany. The road we are passing through here, from Duangwa to Katabe.
To Katabe.
Yeah, it was done by Germany.
Germany, they donate.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the road from Katabe going to Mzuzu, they are doing now.
Katabe going to Muzuzu.
Yes, it's also a donation.
Donation.
On our own, we cannot do anything, very little.
So everything is waiting for donation.
Even the hospital, you will see when you get to Katabe, it's a donation.
其 这条路从我们昨天那个糖厂那边到这个位置，被那个德国人捐赠，然后建起这条路，然后上面有一段也是在捐赠，反正很多都是靠捐赠，包括医院啊、学校什么的，很多都是等着捐赠。然后有些援助啊什么的，反正之前说了都被没了。
China built a road from Karonga to Chitipa. I think you know.
Chitipa, because they made relationship between Tanzania and Malawi.
Yes.
After
So
load, you
China-
can make business.
Yeah.
No load, nothing.
No, you cannot.
中国建了那个就是往坦桑尼亚那边那条路，可能改到坦桑尼亚那个，就连接一个国家嘛，就是要连接一个国家才
And
能
then
贸易。
between Mzuzu somewhere and Urumqi, I think the Japanese government also helped us. JICA. and
The main donator is Germany, UK, Japanese, and then Chinese. Any other countries? There are 4.
Sometimes we also get help from Canada,
Canada,
but it's usually
USA,
in agriculture.
America.
America, they are very clever. They only talk. But they do very little. They do very little.
They do very little
Very little.
because they didn't see something here.
It's only this time when they hear there's oil, there's what, you can see they're showing some interest.
然后他就说，只有最近看到有油了，美国人开始动身了，要不然之前都很少动身。
都没有
主要几大援助国就日本、德国、英国、中国，然后那个还有加拿大
他们停电这个事情有聊过。
They do very little.
They do very little. So how about the ESCOM power? Is there any change?
ESCOM, it's getting worse.
Because as we stay in Lilongwe, every day blackout, even one day, the whole day or 2 whole days.
Yeah. Here at Chinheche, we don't see a lot of blackout because of the transformers we have. This is an outlet for northern region.
For northern region. It belongs to northern region.
Yeah, so the station is here.
Let's,
At Chinheche. That's why we have electricity every day.
Okay. The whole northern region or only Chitenchi?
No, it's at Chinheche, where you have electricity throughout.
Because you're near the station.
Yes. But in Mzuzu, elsewhere, they experience same problems. Blackouts and so.
Now Lilongwe is a big problem.
What they call
big problem.
Big problem.
Yeah. 他说，因为这
And
附近
yet,
有个电
we
站
have got resources to generate electricity.
You got this.
We have got lithium, what I was talking about. We can use it as fuel
From
to generate
ground,
electricity.
deep
Yes.
ground, less hot.
Yes.
他说其实是有热能可以发电，但是没有用上。这边相对好一些，昨天也没有停电，也没有听到发电机的声音，因为这边靠近一个电站，然后这边相对好一些。另外母猪猪也一样，也是还会停电，整个国家都在。So is there any plan to change the ESCOM problem?
Well, they are telling us that I think China is building a coal-powered
station
generator at Liwonde.
Liwonde. It's starting.
Yeah, I think they have started. And then they are also building solar power, which may give about 400. Is it 4 to 600 megawatts?
It's starting.
It's also somewhere.
It's already starting.
Yeah, it has already started. And then they also want to build 2 hydropower stations here at Chinheche and then further in Karonga. But to me, I think it's all creating what you call a white elephant.
White elephant.
Yeah, because some of these projects may only survive for 5 to 10 years, and those rivers are going to be dried up. But if we made use of that thermal power, because it doesn't matter, even when it goes offshore, it will still be there. Because it comes from the ground.
Yes.
It will still be there for years.
So what you like is the hut. No any pollution.
Where?
The hot, as you said, there's hot, very hot water.
Yeah, coming from the ground.
It can
that one
transfer to electricity.
Yes, exactly.
And that's why it's no any pollution for environment.
Yes, it will be very clean
energy.
Very clean energy.
So how about solar? Solar is also
solar. Yes. We have got a maximum, I think, sunshine.
Very.
A lot of sunshine and a lot of wind. So they could marry turbine-powered electricity to solar-powered electricity, because we also have a lot of wind here. Turbines will be running at all times, because winds don't stop.
Along the lakeside.
Along the lake shores. Yes, that's one thing they have forgotten. They are always talking about mainland. They are always talking about Balaka and elsewhere. But they forget that we have got the lake here. And you know, the winds come about when there's fusion of heat and cold. Now, we have got water, which is supposed to be cold all the time. And when heat comes in, it generates a lot of wind. So we have wind supply at all times. And we have got sunshine at all times. So we can produce a lot of electricity along the shores. Something that has been ignored by government. That's why I said they are only thinking when they're in their offices, but they don't see anything around them.
At the right place, the properly place. 他们就说他们也有风能也有电能，然后中国政府也援助了2个是有援助就是煤炭发电、燃料发电，在南部地区，然后还有太阳能发电什么的，这些他说都在建，是我们中国政府援助的。所以就说这些有可能会改变电能，但是他们只是考虑这些。政府只是考虑这些，其实这湖边的地热啊，然后这些什么风能啊，什么其实也可以让这湖边这一块，因为你知道南部就是到湖的尽头了。我们去的芒果奇啊、刘湾的啊、Monkey Bay 就是湖的最南面，是不是？那其实这整条湖上来，从萨利马上来，萨利马也差不多最南面。这上来基本上就没怎么发展，有没有可能？
You know, if they are saying the solar generating plant they are putting at Balaka or at Chamwamba can produce 400 megawatts, they would put a similar plant here in the north, also to generate something between 400 and 600 megawatts, and then put another generator similar to that in Mangochi. So they would have 3 for 3 regions. That would have been enough to supply the whole country.
The whole country. But now only 2.
There's only one.
Only one?
The one they're building at Chamwamba. In Balaka. In Balaka, they have put up a coal generating plant and they are putting up a solar power.
Oh, it's in Balaka.
Still in one place.
Stay in one place.
Still in one place.
Coal.
And they have got that hydropower stations along the Shire River within the same area. And yet they are talking of mining. Mining, a lot of mines are here in the north. Now they have got to transport power all the way from southern region to the north. Wasting a lot of power
it's wasting
along the lines to reach here. Now, instead of, as we are saying, producing power in northern region, the potential which is
central,
and then the southern region.
And today it will be not wasting. And why they are concentrated at Balaka?
I don't know. This is a question everybody is asking.
很多东西都在一个城镇，我们之前有经过，就是那个拐弯地方，距首都200多公里。 我们太阳能发电啊，那个煤炭发电都在巴拉卡那边有一个地方叫巴拉卡，然后这边其实有很多矿产资源，但是大家都没考虑到，不知道为什么。
And another area of concern the government should have had was that we have got factories, big factories, manufacturing companies, which are operating in the rural areas. Duangwa is one of them. Duangwa, they waste a lot of, the peels that come out of sugarcane.
Sugarcane.
They would have been generating a lot of electricity using that stuff. But they're not.
It can
They just waste it.
burning.
They throw it away. They burn it.
But yesterday I heard from Gasberg, they said they using the waste for making beer. For sugarcane, sugarcane make sugar.
Yeah.
The waste
and then the waste, they use Casberg.
For Gasberg, yes, they are not throwing. But they cannot use so much.
They cannot use so much because a lot of it is just wasted. So they would have been generating electricity enough to supply this whole area. And then here, we've got a plant factory, Vizara.
What factory?
They produce planks. They export outside, wood.
Wood.
And you see, they deposit huge sawdust, amounts of sawdust, which they could have been using to generate electricity. And electricity they would have been generating at Vizara would have been enough to supply Mzuzu as well as the whole of Katabe.
So it means.
And then in Chikangawa, they also produce huge amounts of wood waste. What they call sawdust.
Sawdust.
So that sawdust would have been used to generate electricity, which would have been enough also to supply the whole of Kasungu as well as Mzuzu. So all that we are not.
Chikangawa is between Kasungu
and Mzimu. So potential areas are there, but we are not doing enough to encourage these companies to be generating electricity.
Government is thinking about one step by one step.
But for how long? That's why I'm saying we are lagging behind. We are lagging behind. We are not doing enough, and we are not serious about it. Because that would have been a contribution by the company, which is given long periods of grace without tax. Now they should have been encouraged to be doing these sort of things. That instead of paying tax to the government, that period they don't pay tax, they should have been building these things.
Yeah, I understand you. Just change, give some options.
Yes. Because in one way, it would have also been helping the company itself. Instead of getting a lot of electricity from ESCOM, they would have been generating their own electricity they require for production of their products.
Just change some.
Exactly.
Change the way, change the mind.
So we are not doing enough. That's why I say people are very busy. How much do I amass after I'm out of government? That's all people are thinking about, which is quite a shame, isn't it? Food, you asked me about improvement in certain areas of production. Yes, I would say like food, for example. For the first time, we have done very well in food production. People were encouraged to plant a lot of maize, which they did last year. This year they harvested a lot of maize, but there's no market.
No market.
They told people that there will be a lot of market for it. We have found market already, but we find there's a lot of food in the villages. People are waiting for the government institutions to come and buy it, but they're not buying it. That's why now they are boasting, they are saying they are doing well economically, but they're struggling the poor people in the village. You see, they don't have money to purchase their
They
needs.
only have maize.
They have got a lot of maize. But you find the president is busy boasting that the economy is doing very well. And
people got so much maize.
You have got so much
they are
maize.
harvest.
Yes.
But
and inflation has been reduced to single digit. That's nonsense. Because he should have thought, do people have money? What have they sold if the government cannot purchase that maize from the people? Through their machinery, ADMAC for instance. And they have blocked Tanzanians, they have blocked people who were coming from outside to purchase people's crops. They say, no, don't export. Now, what are the people going to do with the crops? They're just rotting, a lot of them. So yes, the government is doing all right, but the people in the village, they're made poorer and poorer. Because what they use to buy fertilizers and inputs is the money from their pockets. It's not loans from the government. If there were loans from government, it would have been all right, because it's the government which was going to suffer. But it's a poor man in the village. He forgets it. He forgets to send his children to school in order to buy fertilizers, inputs to produce those crops. Because they have hope after government has promised them that the market will be available. And then at the end of the day, there's nothing. You see? So yes, there was a lot of food. But
a lot of food. They only got the maize. Only one kind of food. Can I know some as we know that Kwata is harvest of rice.
Katabe too.
Katabe too.
Yes.
And the other Mzuzu, what they got?
No, Mzuzu is a city.
It's a city.
Yeah. So in Mzuzu, Mzimba, they produce maize, they produce tobacco, they produce groundnuts. Coffee is in Katabe. Yeah, and Chitipa. Here we produce rice. We produce maize. We produce tea. We produce coffee, and we produce rubber.
Okay.
It's the only district in Malawi.
Lapa.
Yeah.
Rubber.
It's
like a. Yeah. There is rubber along the riverside.
You see it when you go to Katabe.
Okay.
You pass through the plantation, the rubber plantation.
And south region.
In southern region, we have Nsanje. In Nsanje, Chikwava, they produce rice. They produce sugarcane.
Sugarcane. So normally the whole country main food is main harvest is maize, rice, sugarcane, coffee, tea.
Yeah.
Okay. 刚才想到什么问题忘记问？
想问一个问题，就是国家哪一个比较好？
是吧？
哪一个国家公园比较好？
Beans also.
Yeah. So Nika National Park is the biggest national park.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's good. But with that car, I don't think it would be advisable.
We should hire a car.
You should have a 4x4.
Oh, okay.
You should have a 4x4.
Yes, at Liwonde we also hire a car to enter the national park.
So when you go to Mzuzu, if you want to go there, you leave that car in Mzuzu. Then you get a 4x4 to go up the hills.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a beautiful place.
It's
cool.
a beautiful place.
It's very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
It's better. It's higher than South.
Yes, right on top of the mountain. You look at the lake like this. It's very cool.
Very cool.
And the vegetation, you not believe it's in Malawi. It's in Africa.
So it's the best national park in Malawi.
The best, not only in Malawi, but I think in Africa.
In Africa. That's what
the beauty is beautiful.
他说现在在整个非洲都说很好。你看，
我们还没去过。
还没去。
现在。
It's a very nice place, but we are failing to market.
Mlanj. Nika is higher.
Yeah.
Higher than Mlanj.
No, Mlanj is only the mountain.
Only the mountain.
Yeah. But here is the whole land.
Whole land.
When you go there, you always climb. And you can feel the weather.
Okay.
The weather.
Change.
Yeah, it changes. And it's so cool.
学会怎么说我都忘了。
是有个传说呢，有人吃雪。
现在1点钟了，要不吃饭，然后在外面。
So at Mulanje, somebody talking about people are drinking blood.
Well, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
It's just a talking.
Those are just stories. Yeah, but I've known of people missing, but I don't think it's anything to do with speculations that you hear about. But people sleeping off cliffs, because once you fall down into the cliff, you'll not be discovered.
Oh, okay.
They are very steep.
Very deep.
Very deep.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So maybe
a lot of
sometimes
people who
they
sleep
just,
into there, you cannot see them.
Oh, okay.
And they are not retrieved.
So disappear is maybe by some other problem.
Exactly.
Yes, Baba. So maybe we can go to town to have a lunch.
Okay, but I don't know. My wife has gone to buy some drinks. It's okay. I think when you get lunch, it's either you go to Sambani.
Sambani
It's just
is
next.
lunch. 隔壁 lodge 也有饭，
You can
沿
just
途
walk
走就
across.
行了。
It's very near.
可以 ，we together。
正常
Walking is a
正常
problem.
的话是可以介绍一下正常。
Walking. I've got problems with my legs.
Got problem with legs. Sorry.
Walking is a
他
problem.
说他腿有问题，不方便。但是我记得还有什么要问？